This morning we are meditating on our sannyas guru. Sannyas guru is a very serious connection because he introduces us into the final stage of consciousness. Therefore, it is understood when you take sannyas that there's really no way back from that. Sannyasi is a goal, and it is also a method, because in the spiritual environment, people are very happy to meet somebody who is trustworthy. They can put their trust in that person. They know he or she, they promise this commitment, and they are reliable in this connection. Therefore, I get enthusiastic and want to participate. Lord Krishna calls his last chapter of the Bhagavad Gita the perfection of renunciation. He talks about sannyas, and sannyas is a very natural step of responsibility. It's a very important element in human society, and it's also a very important element in the individual spiritual life. Because if we become older and we are still just attached to comfortable living, to our own mind, this is not such a happy thing. We should try everything possible to focus on the supreme enjoyer, the supreme proprietor, and the supreme controller. It's pretty difficult, because in this world we want to be the proprietors of so many things. We want to control so many things. And we surely want to enjoy so many things. Enjoyment is a natural propensity. It is something there within the conditioned soul. And the only joy and the only happiness, according to the Vaishnava philosophy, will be achieved when somebody overcomes his separate interest from Krishna. When somebody makes Krishna's wish his wish. When he makes Krishna's love his goal of life. Srila Sridhar Maharaj is a general amongst the renunciants. He has shown to us that renunciation is a very joyful path. Undoubtedly, renunciation is a challenge. It challenges our conditional thinking altogether. But it responds to a higher craving which is also within you. Because real love is abnegation of egotism entirely. Just like a mother never thinks of her comfort when her child is in danger. Any kind of discomfort becomes to her the most natural and first choice. Because that's what love is all about. So, we're very fortunate when we see our love being put into the circle of divine understanding. Like if we love a Vaishnava, we are very happy. Because the Vaishnava, he's always wanting to do things for Krishna. He's always connected with Krishna. That is a Vaishnava. So, our spiritual master, for example, his entire life was Krishnized. It was Krishna in the front and Krishna in the middle and Krishna in the end. Not that one day Krishna, one day Beethoven, one day Shakespeare, one day Rama, and like this. No. He was Krishna always. Krishna's goal, Krishna's service, Krishna's devotees, Krishna's love, everything Krishna. Constant. A clear and constant guideline came from him to us. An engagement in very valuable services. Actually, so many valuable services we can do in Krishna consciousness. One of them is to speak to others about Krishna. Srila Bhakti Rakshila Deva Goswami, our beloved sannyas guru, whose appearance day we are celebrating today, on Virabhadra's appearance day, which is the son of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, has come into this world in a very renowned Brahmin scholarly family of Bengal, and he appeared in the little village of Hapanya, which means sweet waters, where there's a shrine today of his appearance. Srila Sridhar Goswami was really such a shining star on the firmament of sannyasis. His example as a sannyasi, his example as a preacher, his example as a writer, his example as a lover of the truth, his example as a friend of his god brothers, his example as a kind-hearted father and guardian of his disciples, his example as a disinterested advisor of other missions and other people's life, his total impartiality when it came to understand and counseling, his highest common sense made him well known and well beloved by many. Sometimes the leader of the Communist Party of Navadvip would come and listen to the lecture of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Then he was asked, but you are by communist consideration, you don't believe in God. Why you come and hear the class of Maharaj? And then he said that said because he is impartiality personified, he has the most wonderful common sense, and he's of the most disinterested nature. Once we were investigated in Colombia by a communist underground party. They sent a spy to live in the temple. After 1 month he came to me and he said, I'm leaving the temple. I wanted to tell you that I was never a devotee. I'm a spy and investigator on behalf of this communist organization. And I wanted to congratulate you because nobody lives more communist like your lifestyle here in the ashram. I've never seen it anywhere. So I wanted to congratulate you for that. And so he left to take the message of Mahaprabhu to his leaders. So we are actually in the mode of renunciation. We are the servants of all, and not just per se. We are the servants of all. As sannyasi, we have no more other business. We don't have the business to get a nice room. We don't have the business to get material facilities out of our rank or opposition in the congregation. We have no rights or needs to establish ourselves in this world financially, or in any other aspect. We are happy to simply be useful to the others in accordance of the standards of Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. Obviously, it's not that we are, somebody says, oh, you're sannyasi, please help me, I have to move from one apartment to the other, so please come. You're a servant of all, so you can serve me now. Somebody else say, hey, you're sannyasi, please can you come and carry my messages to somebody else? No. The service is according to Guru, Shastra, Sadhu, time, place and circumstance. Which doesn't mean a sannyasi cannot pick up a broom and clean. And also doesn't mean a sannyasi cannot carry bags. No. It means a sannyasi, he's doing his service and he's presenting himself as a servant before the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is his criteria. By his criteria, he'll act or he'll won't act. So the wonderful thing about the sannyas is that it puts you in contact with Krishna without any obstacles. There's nothing to inhibit your connection. Now you may say, now what about a sannyasi who is a spiritual master and has disciples and they have houses, they have material facilities, and they offer to their guru these facilities, and thus the guru apparently is living quite a life of facilities. Well, that is also very interesting to analyze, because on one side, if the sannyasi utilizes things for Krishna, such as a computer or something like that, then his responsibility to utilize it properly is obviously the number one concern. He has to be responsible for what he is doing, because the sannyasi is an example of the human society. everything he does will be judged, and he will influence others by what he does. So, on the other side, a sannyasi lives such a life that people will be favored by what he does. For example, Srila Sridhar Maharaj stayed many of the last years of his life in one room. He did not move from that room, and the whole world was coming to him to see him in this room. That is very wonderful. We could see that Krishna and Prabhupada wanted to utilize Srila Sridhar Maharaj to give his grace. And it was the arrangement of Krishna that practically all the lectures he gave in the last 6 years of his life were recorded. And later, many types of publications were made from those lectures Srila Sridhar Maharaj gave. Many people may give lectures and good advices in their life. Doesn't necessarily mean that somebody records them or somebody evaluates the recordings and transforms them into writings, publishes them and distributes them. It's not necessarily so. So, rather than exaggerating the glories of somebody, as far as Srila Sridhar Maharaj is concerned, the reader has to judge by himself. If you read his books and you feel deeply touched in your heart, then you know what I'm talking about and why I'm talking about it. Actually, Srila Sridhar Maharaj's teachings are so superb, so deep and fine, that in Spanish we consider his collective writings called the secret science of Bhakti Yoga, or the confidential science of Bhakti Yoga, to be our Bible. Because it is such a wonderful book with such an incredible amount of spiritual instructions. You can practically gain from it insight on any and every aspect of Krishna consciousness. Srila Sridhar Maharaj had a unique contribution to our sampradaya, to our school, because he was giving the very deep instructions upon the departure of a spiritual master. Upon the departure of a spiritual master is when you really start understanding how important intensive spiritual life really is, and how you have to practice it in order not to be in a difficult situation upon his departure. You can say that the spiritual master's departure is such a shocking experience for the disciple that he has to reevaluate everything he has heard, thought, and done. And he has to think how he's going to go on with that now, under which terminologies. In our own case, the departure of Srila Prabhupada became so increasingly painful as we increasingly realized that it is very difficult to find a person who really wants to live up to the mark of the performance of Srila Prabhupada's dedication to people. And if you want to serve somebody and you want to help somebody, you want to make sure, or you want to feel in your heart that his performance, his dedication to others is really on a top quality. Just like you don't like to drive in a car when you know the driver often falls asleep while driving. That's not a very say maybe 5 minutes you'll drive with him, but he has a kind of an irresponsible attitude about it, so you don't want to know anything about it. Anybody who performs anything in this world, we expect a very high performance from them if we want to be involved with them. So the spiritual leader, or let's say the representative of our spiritual master, he has to be a very dedicated and sold out soul. So what is the continuation of that thought? Very simple. It means you have to become a very dedicated and sold out soul in order to be able to do your service appropriately. Because that's what you expect from others. How can you have less in yourself than you are expecting from others? So in one way or another, in the separation from your spiritual master, you have to ask yourself, who is a dedicated and sold out soul here? And am I myself a dedicated or sold out soul to Krishna and his sweet will? What's going on? What's my reality? Previously, I could just rely on Gurudev. He'll take care of everything. I trust in him. He's sweet. He's understanding. He's forgiving. He is enthusiastic. He'll even pick me up when I'm slipping. And he still loves me. That's a comfortable situation. I don't have to question whether my guru is dedicated and sold out. Why I don't have to question that? Because I already have seen that. I already have felt that. Otherwise, why should I have accepted him as my guru if I don't see dedication and one-pointed purpose, devotional purpose in his life? If I don't see any transcendental performance in him. So, it is when he's not anymore there when I start questioning, hey, who is? Am I? Who's trustworthy? Specifically when it comes to the question of who is going to be the next spiritual master. I believe in my guru. My guru is my all in all, but now he's not anymore here. And the ones I'm bringing, my friends, the people I preach to, they want to have a guru just as much as I want it. They need a guru just as much as I need it. They want to love and trust their guru just as much as I love and trust my guru. So who am I going to recommend now? Where am I going to take them now? Guru is so high and I am so low. That's an easy way to think. He's all and I am nothing. Safe way of thinking. But now he's not anymore here. He has departed to a higher platform, to wherever Krishna wants to take him. So what's going on now with my life? Where am I supposed to turn now? What can I do with others who come to this line? What can I do with them? Shall I tell them, sorry you came late, my guru is gone, and you just happened to be a year late, so I have nothing to tell you? go and find something or someone somewhere else because I don't know where somebody is trustworthy. Doesn't sound like a very appropriate conclusion, does it? So then you have to find out who is dedicated like my guru was. Is there somebody? Is there an uncle? Is there an older son? Is there somebody who's really, really on the level of this dedication and love and who really takes others to heart? Because that's what it means to be a guru. You have to take your disciples to heart. It's not just something like here, a formal connection. Here is your japa, here's your kanti, and give a little guru dakshin, and that was it. Now the rest is in the books. No. It's taking you to heart. Guru knows you, Guru thinks about you, he plans for you. He's becoming a very important person in your life. He may send you to Africa. He may send you. Prabhupada sent me to South America. It was the most amazing experience in my life. It was an arrangement by Krishna because I had no idea of going there. And all of a sudden I found myself in Mexico. Next thing I knew I was in Caracas. Next thing I knew I was in Bogota. And the next thing I knew I was in Sao Paulo, Brazil, as the temple president. And the whole thing only took like 2 months or so. And then I received the order from Prabhupada, you stay there. I rely on you. I didn't speak one word of Portuguese. So in this way I have this extreme experience. And you may be sent far away to simply go and try to do something on behalf of your Gurudev. That's very beautiful experience. It was so beautiful that I'll go any time again to any place to repeat that. But the spiritual master comes into my life by the will of providence, by divine grace. It is not understandable logically necessarily. I must confess to you, when I accepted my spiritual master, I didn't know the difference between the Mayavadi and the Vaishnava philosophy. I remember once I was living in a Mayavadi ashram, and I was thinking. There was one poster I was meditating about it. And I was meditating at that day whether God was a person or not. I still remember that day. It was maybe the first time in my life that I really questioned myself into the nature of God. And as I was dwelling upon it, I hadn't read any book of Prabhupada by that time. It was just a thought which came into my mind. And I remember that the conclusion was that I wasn't qualified to judge it. That I couldn't say he's personal or he's impersonal. That I didn't have the clue to make it. So the reason I left this impersonalist ashram was because of the obvious obnoxious behavior of the so-called guru there, and not because I philosophically understood that he was giving anything lower than Vaishnavas give. And my joining Prabhupada's movement was not because I had embraced his teachings as the highest and most refined information on yogic science. No, It was because I felt the inclination, and I had felt the inclination long time before to be with Prabhupada's devotees, but I never had the chance to actually join them and be with them. So it was entirely intuitive. And as intuitive as it was, I joined the temple. Tomorrow, the temple president who opened me the door at that time will come here for our morning program. I met him yesterday. Who opened me the door at 9:30 in the evening in this little temple in Düsseldorf when I joined. And he looked at me and says, "What do you want?" I said, "I came here to study about your process." He said, "Really? How long you want to stay?" I said, "I don't know. Maybe a week." But as I was pronouncing this maybe a week, in my mind immediately appeared, I guess it'll be much longer than that. And I never left from that very moment on. Srila Prabhupada's protection. So I still remember the words we talked at that moment. And he simply said, "Come in, welcome." He made me immediately feel comfortable. That's why in South America and over the years of preachings, many times arguments arose that we should increase our restriction on who can join the temple. That we should make it much more strict and much more checking out the people, how good they are, how bad they are, how serious they are, how not serious they are. But when I remember the way I was received in the temple, I just don't want to put it more strict because it would not be fair to the mercy I received when I came to the door. If he would have put a lot of restrictions on me, I was just coming from hitchhiking for many hours. My only goal was to reach there. And I had no money in my pocket. If he would have said, "Check in the hotel and come here for a few days to check it out," I would have been morose. I don't know, maybe I would have slept in the streets. I remember one devotee, he came, he had been taken intoxication. And he was like, we call it, wiped out, flipped out from this material world. And finally, in his drugged out state, he sat next to a garbage can somewhere in Washington, D.C. And he put his arm into the garbage can to see what's there and touched the book. He pulled out the book and it was a Krishna book. And in his drugged out state, he started reading this book and reading. He read the whole night. The next morning he says, "I have to go there quickly because with this wonderful philosophy, they'll be booked out quickly. They'll be full. They won't have any more space." So, dirty, drugged out with the book, he went right the next morning to the temple because there was an address in Washington. So he went there. He said, "I want to join you." They said, "What? You want to join? You better go home first and get washed." "What do you mean?" He says, "This is an urgent decision I made. How can you send me home?" They said, "No, sorry, we cannot have you here." So he just sat in the garden of the temple and kept reading. And finally, after maybe 3-4 hours, they see him still sitting. They say invited him in to take a shower, because he was still sitting there, and gave him some prasad. So finally, he also stayed, but only because he insisted. I didn't have to insist. They opened the door. So in this way, I mean, yes, having such an open door policy is also a painful operation. Because you do get sometimes weirdos who are not so spiritually inclined and troublemakers as well. I mean, any criminal can practically come in if he just makes a little bit of a show. But that's the way it is. The way mercy comes. Maybe the criminal has a change of heart by seeing the devotee's attitude. So we can't really we can't really change these things. Prabhupada opened the doors to the world, and we are benefited by his grace. So in this way, Srila Sridhar Maharaj is really my general. Of course, Srila Prabhupada, for me, he's the minister, he's the president, because he has taken our life and put it into shape. But for the sannyas order, we are very lucky, because Srila Sridhar Maharaj is the sannyas guru of the sannyas guru of Srila Prabhupada. So it's like a special mercy. When I talk about Srila Sridhar Maharaj, I get carried away. Because his life, his work, his being was such a profound thing, and it affected me so profoundly. It touched upon every grain of my existence. It touched upon the commitment. Actually, I decided to accept disciples on the strength of his writings. When I read Sri Guru in his grace, I did not come to the conclusion that I was qualified to accept disciples. But I came to the conclusion that nobody will come and take care of my dear friends in Colombia, where I was at that time, in an intense, dedicated way. And therefore, I did not want to let them down. I wanted them to feel secure. I wanted them to feel beloved. I wanted them to have the connection with Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada had left the world 7 years before that moment, 77 to 84. And I just didn't want to rely on some connection without any real responsibility. I talked with Harijan Maharaj in those days. And I said, Maharaj, we have to sacrifice ourselves here. We can't simply abandon the devotees, and we cannot expect others to come and simply do, because we had built up that mission over many years. And we had a personal relationship with all the devotees involved. So there was really not much of a question to us that somebody else would come in and take care. So we felt, Gurudeva, you better take over our lives now, because we're going to take responsibility on your behalf. We are going to tell people that they should follow your instructions so that they will prepare themselves and go home back to God in this lifetime. But how can we assure such a thing since we are just your young disciples? We believe in what you say, we believe in the Shastras. We are fortunate enough to have strong faith in that. So we have gone on until today. But how can we guarantee it? How can we explain it? How can we answer all the questions? Neither are we Sanskrit scholars, nor have we read all the holy scriptures of the Vaishnavas, nor have we any extensive association with the Indian Vaishnava culture by living with it in India. All we received was your training in your temples, by your devotees, as you had designed, as you had given. So the relationship was with Prabhupada, but the inspiration came from Srila Sridhar Maharaj. by reading Sri Guru in His grace, because he made it clear. He made these points very clear, that somebody has to take care of people. And that is a very great commitment. That's why sannyas is such a wonderful thing, because as a sannyasi, you have the time for people. If you don't have the time for others, it's very difficult to give so much. Gurudeva Tulananda is very fortunate, because he doesn't have to worry about economical things, so he can dedicate himself to his disciples. But really, that was the reason why sannyasi is such an important thing, so that there's people to dedicate themselves to the welfare of others. And anybody can do it. If a grihastha also dedicates himself to the welfare of others, even so, even better so. Why not? Nobody is restricted. If you want to be a preacher and dedicate yourself to the welfare of others, you will be most welcome. Nobody will say, "Oh, but you're a woman, or you're young, you're only 15 years old." Well, Shankaracharya took sannyas with 8 years. At some point in life, you have to decide certain things and do them, right? And when you decide it, that's up to you, because you have to live it. Your decisions, you have to live up to them. So, therefore, whenever I talk about Srila Sridhar Maharaj, it is for me like today I was reading his book, but I just look at the book and it starts flowing what I want to say about him. So, without even having, but we should read just this one chapter so we get in touch with his energy. Try to go ahead. We must obey authority. Instructions from the authorities are important and are always given in every community. However, we seek the truth. Those who do not care for that which is presented by the authorities, they will come out to seek the real, the complete truth, not the stereotype thing. Everyone is more or less under a particular social binding. And it is told repeatedly in the Bhagavad Gita, Swadharmeni danang shreya paradharmo bhayavaha. Strongly here it is spoken, don't leave your own religion, the conception of your particular duty. Don't leave your present position. Rather you should die, and after death some change may come. Don't leave your position. Maintain your present position. It is recommended strongly, so that we may not fall down. Then, Sarvadharma Parichacha Mamikam Saranam Raja is also there. If we get the chance to advance towards Him with a risk, we must try to go ahead to attain perfection. But we must be sure that we are advancing, that we are in the realm of progress, not going down. That sort of faith is crucial. With a clear conscience, we must try to forge ahead. It is not that in the name of advancement we are going back. Generally, we are justified here in our present situation. Para dharmo bhayavaha. We have taken our stand at present and accepted this duty, the consciousness of this duty. However, it is also stated, Savadharma Parichacha, abandon all other duties and just come to me. The real cause of advancement will come. One cannot but take the risk of going away. Risk means progress. During the time of my Guru Maharaj, there were many who did not take sannyas, the renounced order. Later on, however, they found they could go more swiftly towards the goal by taking sannyas. To take sannyas means to take a risk. To take a risk means to make further progress. One who takes risk is prepared for further progress. So should we remain in the same position we held in the time of Guru Maharaj? Should we remain in that position? Or is it more desirable for us to try for perfect progress? If we choose to make advancement, we will have so many new insights and reject so many of the old. According to our own progress, devotees cannot but see that some things are to be kept back and others to be invited to the forefront. That is what is meant to go nearer, to make progress. We should have some sort of approximate knowledge of what is good, what is bad, what is Krishna, what is non-Krishna, and that will be realized more and more. Oh, I could not detect this, but now I feel that this is also a vulnerable point in the light of the Krishna conception. In this way, realization and advancement come, but one should not leave his former position without being sure of his progress. We must not take risks for something that is not our own. But when we do find that it is indeed our own, even though it may be a little far, we must take the leap. We will think, my inner hankering has been searching for that thing alone. Now it is within my reach, so I must take it. It all depends on our sincerity and proper understanding. Nahi kalyana krit kaschit durgatim tat tagachati. Sometimes we may fall down, but we will be able to understand that lower things are not desire. We will think, these desires are hunting me. For the time being, they have even captured me, but after a while they will vanish. When they do, we will think, oh, what suddenly came and overpowered me. My real self-interest has been hampered. I must not allow myself to be affected by them again. I must be very alert. In this way, sometimes the lower propensities may get the upper hand, and so we go backwards, and sometimes we may go forwards. We are always in the middle of battle. We are soldiers, always fighting for progress. So, you see, Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. The souls are always in need for finding that love which they are anxious to meet. That love is there. It's not far away. But you have to go all the way to get that love. You can't go get it by going a little. You have to go all the way. And you have to take it upon yourself to be the best mother, the best daughter, the best disciple, the best whatever you do. And then you will reach something higher. You'll qualify for the next installment. You cannot expect that you will get some amazing award when you have not even given a serious attempt to perfect the first thing, or the second, or the third. And large extensions of spiritual instructions have descended upon us. Is it ready? Are we ready for such a leap? If we are not, we can just help somebody. So coming back to my original description of how to go on when our spiritual masters left, we may not feel that we are able to become spiritual masters and take the responsibilities like we did in Colombia. You may feel insecure, you may feel this is not me, I cannot do that. I'm too young, I have too many other things to still learn. Then you seriously approach one who you see is really doing the job, and you accept him as your Shiksha Guru. And you go on serving him just as you were serving your Guru, with the same enthusiasm and trust. Of course, he has to be somebody to increase your love and trust in your Guru. If he then talks something else, and you see there's no real appreciation from his side to your Guru, then you can understand that you're not in the right place. But if you see he's really he's really doing the work of my guru, and the people coming to him are happy, and I also feel happy of serving him, then accept him as your Shiksha Guru and just go ahead. Just continue with great enthusiasm whatever you like to do for Lord Chaitanya, and you will find protection. You will find again. It is possible to have many Shiksha Gurus. One should generally only have one Diksha Guru in life. But other Shiksha, instruction, spiritual master, they are quite possible to come along our life. As a matter of fact, even while we do our daily activities in spiritual life, we may feel very inspired by something a god brother or god sister or another Vaishnava is doing. And we may feel so inspired that we also learn from them. But it should never go against the instructions of your spiritual master, because otherwise it will be you're creating some kind of havoc in your emotional side. It should be according to the overall progress and whatever assignment comes to you. The assignments in spiritual life, there's so many. But some assignments are top priorities, and some of them are general instructions, So assignments are of different kinds, and if you really want to be closely connected to your spiritual master, you should see that you get some of his top priority assignments, so then you will be definitely very close to the place where intensive spiritual life is being practiced.